If you love playing with Naoe, she has 5 weapons that make her immortal. Today, we're going to be taking a look at those 5 different weapons that give you the God mode to be able to take down any enemy. So, let's dive into the first weapon, and we're going to be taking a look at the first one, which is going to be the Yami no Cage. This is a legendary weapon. What makes this weapon special is that it deals a 100% damage to the attacker on deflect. Now, you got to have this in mind that not everything in shadows you're going to be able to deflect, but to give you a good rule of thumb is that anything that is in blue, you're going to be able to deflect. So have that in mind whenever you are using this weapon. But in return, you're going to deal 100% of the damage to that attacker. So overall, you're going to be becoming very powerful right away, but just having this weapon. Now, on the second perk, you can enable anything that you have that is legendary. I probably will go with something that's going to trigger affliction on deflect that you probably could find it in another katana. Do that and you're going to be able to take down enemies really easy. Towards the end of the video, I'll show you guys every location of all these 5 weapons. Now let's take a look at the second weapon. Is going to be the Bloodshade. Luckily, this weapon, you're able to get it right from the beginning. But what this weapon is so good at is, besides the bleed buildup, is that it comes with one special perk, which is affliction buildup is not lost over time. And if you are able to add an additional perk to this one, in this case, deal 100% damage to the attacker on deflect, you pretty much are going to be killing enemies really easy and fast. So by doing that, those two type of combinations, you're going to make this katana probably the most powerful in the game. And luckily, you're going to be able to get this really early in it. There is one Kusarigama in the game that makes Naoe very immortal, and this is the Blood Letter. This is a legendary Kusarigama. What this one gives you, it does give you a nice bleed buildup, probably the highest so far at 18% fully leveled up weapon. But what it does have is something special. This is a trigger bleed on entanglement. All you have to do is to be able to make that happen is swing your Kurusengama, and that's all you need to do to be able to just trigger that bleed on entanglement. And that is how simple this weapon, and yet very powerful when it hits, because we're going to add a second perk, and this one, it gives you a 60% damage on enemies over 3 meters away. So anything that you're like 3 meters away, very easy, you're going to be just hitting them a lot harder, especially those samurai doshos in the different type of castles. You're going to be taking them down very easy. And as you're able to see here, one swing of this Kurisagama is just deals a lot of damage because it does have a nice ability damage if you're able to use that. And the weapon DPS is one of the highest among the Kusarigama. Now, Naoe does have 2 special legendary tantos that make her unstoppable. And that is, first one, the Shinobi's Fury. This one works with the vulnerable damage, one of the highest, which is at 33% fully leveled up. And if we are able to take a look at this, it has one of the highest also pure posture DPS. And this is what makes this weapon very, very deadly. The weak point attacks makes enemy vulnerable a second time. So that means that whenever you are using this weapon, you're going to be able to do this over and over to an enemy. And if you are able to do your special ability a lot faster and bring it back, you're going to be able to knock enemies quickly. Now with this, we're going to add a second perk, which is going to be the afflicted enemies are vulnerable. So which means that the first perk and the second perk are going to be synergizing perfectly, making this weapon too OP. Now, there's actually another weapon which is works perfectly, which is 1-to-1 weapon, and that is the Yukimitsu Revenge. This one here, it is poison buildup, The other one, it was vulnerable damage, but the poison buildup, it's amazing because right away you're going to be able to afflict enemies that are vulnerable. And we're going to be adding a second perk, which is the one from the Shinobi's Fury, which is going to be weak point attacks make enemies vulnerable a second time. So that means that afflicted enemies are going to be vulnerable all the time. That is how broken this tanto is. And if you love using tantos in Assassin's Creed Shadows, you know what I mean. It's a lot of fun. You're just pretty much unstoppable using those two type of perks over and over. In a one-to-one combat, you're going to be able to take down enemies very easy with no problem. You probably won't even lose any blood. So there you go, guys. Those are the top 5 weapons that you're going to be able to use in Assassin's Creed Shadow that makes Naoe invincible and also a godlike type of player. Thank you guys for watching. Now, here is the rest of the gameplay showing you exactly where you're going to be able to get all the 5 different legendary weapons that make her OP. Okay, the katana, you're going to be able to get it from this ship that you guys are seeing here. Is right at the beginning. Here's Osaka. Swim over there and kill the enemies, and boom, you'll have that weapon. Now, the Kuzirin Gama, just here it is on the map itself. This is where you're going to be able to grab it. Just kill. I think there's only one samurai dojo in this location. Very easy to take down. They're not even watching you. You're trying to take care of other stuff. Take them out, and then it's in that chest once you kill them. Now, the Yukimitsu Revenge is located in this ancient tomb of Nanjo. All you have to go is go through it. You're going to go through a whole entire puzzle, and eventually you're going to be able to get to the end where the chest is located, and it has this legendary. So as you see in here, just try to follow through until the end. You'll be able to find it. It's not very difficult to get lost here.